So there's plenty of times he done pistol whoop people, he done made people get naked when he first started, when he first got on the set. And that just, for a youngster seeing that type of shit, it's bad to say it was adrenaline. And, you get like, ooh, that boy putting it down, you feel me?
The 1990s and the 2000s were some of the hottest decades the Magnolia projects ever had to endure due to an overflow of drugs, guns, and some of the most heartless individuals the city of New Orleans have ever seen. Tent Ward Fat, Hot Boy Dooney, the Dooney Boys, and Leonard Morgan were all a part of those eras, and together have left their own deadly chapter in the history of the Magnolia projects.
When you bring up Dooney and Leonard Morgan with your Scotty, you tend to think about, his, of how he got killed, and on the turf and the Tent Ward Facts and all of that.
So when Tent Ward Facts started coming back there, did he face any problems from not being
back
there?
Yeah, he did. He faced a problem, man. He had a problem with this guy called Leonard Morgan.
It's a name in particular, right? Leonard Morgan.
Oh man, you're talking about Scotty. That was his nickname, Leonard Morgan. A lot of people knew him as Scotty, you feel me? He was a hustler out the Magnolia. I basically grew up around him also. We all was off of Willow Street, you feel me, out the Magnolia. And his family is one of the biggest families in the Magnolia, to be exact, you feel me? He a Morgan.
Leonard was just fast as a motherfucker, like running, and he played with the gun. So he was just a problem, like he moved a lot.
Leonard Morgan, aka Scotty, was a well-respected hustler and stepper with a known reputation for handling his business, which made him a main factor within the project's local drug trade. Hot Boy Dooney and the Dooney Boys were also known for handling their business and were also main factors within the local drug trade. Somewhere in the mix, the Dooney Boys and Leonard Morgan bumped heads, and allegedly a small war broke out between them. And that's where Tent Ward Fat comes into play.
You mentioned Tent Ward Fat,
Yeah.
Because I heard a while ago that Fat has something to do with his departure.
Yeah. You heard of that story. A lot of people online probably heard about it. But it all stems from.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I apologize. Hey, listen. For the world who don't know, first of all, tell them who Tent Ward Fat is, so they can understand.
Tent Ward Fat is a guy from the St. Thomas who navigated his way into the Magnolia through the demise family and and all of the Dooneys and the hustlers from out. By having, it's always a connection with hustlers, you feel me, from somewhere. Someone always brings somebody else from. That's basically like if my cousin from a neighborhood, but I'm pumping in the Magnolia and my name jumping, I could bring my cousin in and I co-signed him. That means he allowed on the set. That's just basically like how Lager Black could bring somebody around and, they greet it with open arms because that's Lager Black, you feel me?
How was Fat accepted when he got into the Noya?
Fat was accepted with open arms because he piggybacked off of the DBs.
Tent Ward Fat's arrival and acceptance in the Magnolia project was orchestrated by the Dooney Boys, but not everybody had open arms. Leonard Morgan's years of experience of bodying beef had become extremely challenging for the Dooney Boys, but Tent Ward Fat was now a part of that war.
So even though the DBs had a few killers in their creek, Leonard was giving them a problem, you see what I'm saying? And Fat took it up on himself like, I'm gonna show y'all how to handle the problem or whatever.
I think he was brung in to be like an extra enforcer for the DBs, you feel me, to help them with problems they was having on the turf, you feel me?
Bro, how old was Fat, bro? He was about their age, he was older than them, huh?
Yeah, he was older than all of us. Because when
that's
he
the first time I ever
came,
heard that, bro. I never knew that. That's how Fat get his bridge to the Magnolia was through the Dooney Boys. That damn. Okay.
Bridge through the Dooney Boys.
Damn, bro. We don't give enough credit. We don't give enough. We always make the Dooney Boys these little rugrats and shit, but them niggas got a lot of. If you write the movie about the Magnolia boy, them boys got a big ass. You know what I mean?
No, because Dooney originally from P-Town. Dooney was actually my neighbor. He stayed above me, and that's how me and him had our relationships because we stayed in the same building.
So Dooney bring Tent Ward Fat to the Noya, and he accepted, right? So, what does that have to do with Leonard Morgan?
I think I'm not for sure if Dooney was still alive when Fat made it back there. I think Fat came in like on the piggyback of Dooney getting killed. You feel me? And I think this other guy brought him in. I forgot the guy's name, but it's another person from our hood who brought him in. You feel me? And he was just to come in just to try to get some leverage, because it wound up being a territorial war with heroin being sold in our neighborhood. You feel me? Because by Dooney bringing his family members or friends from the 17th, and when a person get a spot that's jumping, they tend to be like, oh, they only could pump where they pumping at. You know what I mean? Like they only could sell their stuff where they selling at. They don't want nobody else that's not having their product sell right there. So that causes tension. But you got to think, Dooney, we can say Dooney from out the Magnolia, but you got other people who homegrown out the Magnolia. Like, you tell me where to sell what? And now that's causing division and territorial and drama, you feel me? Because how you gonna tell somebody that's born and raised back there where they can sell drugs at, you feel me? Or even do anything at.
And that's basically what got it started between Leonard and Matt.
The DBs, the DB situation.
Leonard Morgan and the DBs got into it.
Yeah, right. And then you got older, the OGs that's been there before, the youngsters. Like, how you gonna tell them where they could sell at and what they can't sell? You feel me?
Bro, I ain't never know Tent War Fat was allies with the fucking Dooney boys, bro. That's some scary shit.
Yeah.
That's some next level shit right there. I know it might sound weird, but I never knew that, bro.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So yeah, I'm sure he not necessarily red carpet, but he had some carpet in that bitch.
Yeah, he had some carpet in that bitch, and he brung a lot of, growing up, I say we was excited about seeing drama or people who considered to be about pistol play or whatever it come with the street shit. You get excited when you see a veteran put in some work, you feel me? So now you got him coming from out his neighborhood, coming on our set, and anybody who owed him money from out his neighborhood, the St. Thomas, they come into the Magnolia thinking they scoring over here without him knowing, and they owed him money on his turf. But when they come through and they see him, they get a shock of amaze, like, man, what the fuck? And now he on some shit like, where the fuck my money at? You feel me? So there's plenty of times he done pistol whip people, he done made people get naked when he first started, when he first got on the set. And that just, for a youngster seeing that type of shit, it's bad to say it was adrenaline. And you get like, ooh, that boy putting it down, you feel me?
Say, Lee, was this before the movie New Jack City or after? Can you remember? This was about what year was this?
This was after New Jack City. New Jack City came out in the 90s or something. You feel me?
Okay. Because I was gonna say, where the fuck I get that from? But then I could,
man, that man was just really off of the chain, bro. He really was just like live wire. You feel me?
So, bro, basically, we could say Tent War Fat was pretty much a Dooney boy.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, you can say that.
Say, bro, so were you there? Were you out there and you remember the day him and Leonard Morgan got into it, or the day the shit went down?
It probably was a full project at that time, you feel, because it was like a regular day, and at that time 6 and Clara was just jumping, you feel me, it was known for at that time, you feel me? So it's 24/7, pumping, you feel me? And fuck, that's just the setting, just regular shit that happens. You feel me? It's a bit numerous, huh?
Did they get into it, bro? Is there any way you could walk us through the actual hit and how he ran down on him, or did he run down on him, or how did it happen?
I don't want to go too far in detail. You feel me? It's like, cause it's almost like a relative both ways to me. You feel me? And I don't want to rub no people the wrong way about that situation.
Due to Levy being too close to each side, he didn't feel comfortable explaining what actually happened between Leonard Morgan and Tent Ward Fat, which was well respected. But thanks to JB at Truth Be Told YouTube channel, we were able to get the truth on what happened that day.
So one day Fat walked up on Leonard up that bitch quick, but it's like 90 degrees. Fat got a hood on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the right mind know, man, Tim Fair got a hood on 90 degrees, you know what he trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So I talked that bitch down out there. Oh man, who do it ain't about that, who do? Yeah, Leonard put that bitch down and punished Leonard.
So it was like broad daylight?
Broad daylight.
It's just a hard situation because homie was a real hustler and he was Magnolia to the meat show, you feel me? And it's just, we lost a lot of people off of just tension in the neighborhood, of a cousin coming around, you feel me? Even with Shorty B and his situation, you feel me? And it's always, this shit it's really like chess and checkers, you feel me? Because even from that situation, it stems back from, people having animosity and doing something to somebody else, and they say karma come back a different type of way, you feel me?
Bro, Soldier Slim had any run-ins with or any relationships or activity with Tank Wall Fat or Leonard Morgan?
Slim, from my understanding, I think Slim and him probably knowed each other from incarceration and shit like that.
When you say him, you speaking of who?
Slim and Tank Wall Fat. They probably had prior dealings from incarceration, shit like that, going to jail, because them niggas built different before me, you feel me? They was in and out of CY and jail and shit, you feel me? From Laurel, and that's how Slim and Laurel really knew each other, from jail and shit like that, you feel me?
Say, bro, when you seen them in the project though, when you seen them, what was their reaction towards each other? Soldier Slim and Tank Wall Fat.
It wasn't never.
It's always cool, like mutual.
It's always gonna be cool because Slim was actually like, DBs was really under Slim, you feel me? And Slim actually made the connection with the Calio, with the Magnolia, you feel me? I'm gonna say far-wise as front of town, you feel me? Slim bridged that gap, you feel me? With the C Murder and the No Limit background and Marcello, and that kind of like drew us in under the Cutthroat record label, and him signing Chaotic and Slim being Magnolia, so now all us hanging over there. And
Chaotic and Calio.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got front of town Bub and Danny and just all of them. And Slim made it so well it was almost like a real brotherhood. It wasn't no drama back and forth with us and them, you feel me? It was like we all under one stamp, Cutthroat Committee, you feel me?
Say, bro, were you around when Josephine Johnny and got into it with all of the Magnolia?
Yeah, you're talking about the corner pocket incident.
Corner pocket where he shot in the club.
Yeah, where he shot the club up there, you feel me?
That shit psycho. That shit.
Yeah, that kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, that you would open the door up and just shoot inside of a club with all them people, and you might have hit somebody innocent, a cousin of a cousin. Now you talking about a head buster, you shot a head busting girl cousin, you feel me? So now it's like, man, you gotta pay for that, you feel me?
Any interactions with you and Josephine Johnny? You guys ever maybe?
Oh man, me and Johnny, we done slept in the same house. Johnny used to come into Magnolia and stay by the Four Sales. The Four Sales is another big family. That's Ski Boo family, and my nanny is Diane, which is Bussy and Menard on Mama. So I always spent the night by their house, and I always was hanging up under Ski Boo. You feel me? Because Ski Boo was like a real like hustler, and just open arms dude, like no drama, you feel me? And he always had a whip coming up, you feel me? He always was a hustler. So I always used to, sleep by my nanny Diane, which he stayed with my nanny Diane at the time. And I always used to do, we go in his room and steal t-shirts and shit like that from him, you feel me?
Say, bro, we don't talk enough about Ski Boo. We definitely gotta get more to Ski Boo. Hey, but you and Johnny, y'all both lyricists, right? Both, not that you were lyricist, but Johnny was a hit maker too. You're both hit makers, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But any point in time you guys were gonna do a song together or some shit?
Oh, it's probably we probably should have been did a song together, because Johnny was one of the first persons I ever seen with the Gucci buckles and brown leather, the whole full leather outfit, you feel me, to match the Gucci's. And I guess his family or something, from his ties on Josephine and them being hustlers, Herc and Johnny, that's what they was known for, doing their thing around there on Josephine. That was kind of my crew coming up young, Bussy, Josephine, Johnny, Cortez, and Natty and Sheldon, which is Big Cherry Brothers. I used to jump roofs with them on Amelia Street and shit, you feel me? Like, really, bro, when you say the Magnolia, it really branches out even to the 12th Wall, to Amelia Street, to, it's always somebody that's kin to somebody that brings, to the project. And the project is most of the time, by having basketball goals and stuff like that in it. A lot of people like to come to the project and hang out. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Especially if you went from back there. Say, bro, what about Mystical? Mystical ever come hang in the Magnolia?
Oh hell no!
For real?
The 12 ball, man. Come on.
Okay.
Man. Ain't
Now,
nothing wrong with
you
the
said
12
12 ball a
ball,
second ago. That reminded me of Mystical.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with the 12 ball, but like mystical is more like, you thinking, when I say mystical, you talking about mystical from Big Boy, the rapper, yeah. It wasn't no connection with that. You talking about Gangsters off of Willow Street, you feel me? And you talking about Cash Money, Birdman, and Killer Stone, man. You talking about Yellow Boy and Tech Nine, and hell no, he ain't coming around here.
Like them songs and shit, right. Yeah. They gonna dump his body in the river.
Hell no, he ain't
That boy
coming
the Chuck Yard.
He better not bring that fucking Land Cruiser through nowhere up around the Magnolia, man.
Right, I forgot about the.
You got love for Mystical, now, but growing up, it was like, hell no, you better not come back here. You feel me? It was embedded in you as a Cash Money soldier. You feel me?